Welcome to Sunday Springboard with Melanie and Kimberlyn Coaching, where we help women recover from and flourish after stress and trauma. I'm going to tell you a story you may have heard me tell before, but it's so appropriate to our talk today, and I want to tell it to you again. This is an old Chinese tale. This old man had a stallion, a great, wonderful stallion, and it won a prize in the city, I don't know, horse show or whatever, won first place. And all of his friends and the villagers say, "Oh, wow, that is so wonderful. What great luck. It's such a good thing." He says, "Good or bad, who knows?" Then the next day or so, some thieves come and steal this stallion because it was such a great, wonderful horse. And all the villagers say, "Oh, no, that is such a terrible thing." He says, "Good or bad, who can tell?" Well, the stallion was a very wild and crazy stallion, and it runs away from the thieves, runs off up into the hills, finds some other horses, and comes back to the man with the extra horses. All the villagers like, "Wow, this is amazing. This is such a great, wonderful thing." The old man says, "Bad luck, good luck, who knows?" Well, then as his son is riding this horse and trying to break the horse so that can be used, the son falls off and breaks his leg. And the villagers are all like, "Oh no, it's such bad luck. Oh, we're so sorry." You know what the old man said. He said, "Bad luck, good luck, who can tell?" Well, then the next day or so, the army comes to conscript people to be in the army. They're looking for the young men and, of course, the able-bodied men, and they leave the son because he has the broken leg. Now all the villagers know what the old man's going to say. Good luck, bad luck, who knows? This is the way our life is. Things that we think are so bad can turn out to be good, and sometimes things that seem to be really good can turn out not to be so positive or so wonderful in our lives. We just can't tell. So what we want to talk about today is our life circumstances. What if we looked differently at our circumstances? What if we chose a different way of looking instead of judging them? We thought differently. I'm going to share my screen with you. Give me just a minute here. What we've been talking about, we're still talking about how to reduce stress. One thing is when we get triggered in the moment, we know how to use our breathing exercises, how to move our body, how to use different things that can help calm us down and help our body metabolize those hormones. If this sounds new to you and you don't remember this, remember that I've recorded all these videos. They're on my website, KimberlynCoaching.com. Go to the Springboard tab and you can watch all the past videos and you can catch up. So we've also talked about eliminating the stressful situations that we can. And then now we've been talking for weeks about the most powerful thing, which is how to decrease our reaction to stress, because for the most part, it is not the actual situation that is stressing us, but it is our reaction to that stress that is causing us to feel stressed. One of the ways that we've been talking about how to change our reaction is with the core disciplines. These are powerful concepts. When we use these in our life, then they make us more powerful. We present in life with more energy, and we definitely present with more stress. We talked about awareness. So many times we just need to become aware. We've been working, our brain works on habit, and so a lot of times we have just been reacting out of habit. But if we can become aware of what we're thinking about, then we can decide to make a choice. Do I want to continue in this line of thinking? Or do I want to change it? And now, as we've been talking about acceptance, we've been talking about accepting so many things, accepting ourselves, accepting others. And now today we want to talk about accepting our life circumstances. So there are two beliefs that hinder our acceptance. One is that we think life has to be easy. It should be easy. It should be comfortable. It should be convenient. And when it's not, we're unhappy and we feel stressed. The other one is that we feel like we need to control everything in our environment Everything has to go our way so that before we can be happy. So I don't know if you felt this way, but when I was growing up, I had this thought of, okay, well, first, I want to be a grown up. And then when you're in middle school, you want to be in high school. And when I'm in high school, just get to college, then I'll be happy. When you're in college, if I can just graduate, if I can just get married, when I have some kids, then I'm going to be happy. When I get my child out of potty training, then I'm going to be happy. Maybe if your marriage is not good after a while, it's if I can just get this divorce, then I'll be happy. Or when the kids just get out of the house, we keep on putting off our happiness somewhere down the road. Something else is going to make us happy. We're not satisfied in today because we're constantly thinking down the road. That kind of thinking stems from these two thoughts here. Life has to be easy. It has to go my way. It needs to be comfortable. And if not, then I can't be happy. Life is full of surprises. Do you agree with me? We can have our life all planned out. This is the way we're going to do it. We're going to have a husband, 2.2 kids, a dog, a white picket fence. Maybe you're going to have this really stellar career. You're going to be an astronaut, or you're going to be a rock star, or maybe you were going to be a doctor, or you were going to be a baseball player. All these things that we planned, and life didn't go the way we planned. Something happened. Maybe you messed up your knee and that messed up your athletic career. Maybe you didn't find the right person to marry, and maybe you weren't able to have kids, or maybe you were in a hurricane or a tornado. Things happen. Life is constantly changing and constantly surprising us. Those surprises that we don't like, we usually call them problems. And what if we looked at it differently? What if we thought, life doesn't have to be perfect? I can still be happy. What if we were to think, life does not have to go the way I want, and I can still be happy? What if we think, okay, all these things can be different than what I planned, and it can still be okay? What kind of difference would that make in your life? Would you feel happier? Would you feel less stressed? I believe so. When we change our thinking, when we are open to believing that whatever comes our way, we can find joy in it, joy in the moment, joy in the small things, then we can open up to find the blessings in these unexpected situations. Our biggest challenge can end up being our biggest blessing. I bet you can think of some stories right now. I remember one of the girls that I met in middle school. When I first met her, did not like her at all. We just conflicted, but we ended up actually becoming best friends. There's a song that talks about the prayers that God said no to. I bet you can remember some times in your life where God answered your prayer no, and looking back, you can say, dodged a bullet there, right? So many times, I can list numerous times that a situation that I thought was really bad turned out to be really good. But if we go into it with that negative thought, then we're stressed, we're unhappy, and we're not able to look around and see the goodness there. So it's so vital that we let go of the idea that life has to be perfect. The reason life can't be perfect is we're not perfect. And if we're perfect, other people around us wouldn't feel comfortable with us. And it's just not, it's a fantasy. It's a fairy tale. And so once we decide to let go of the fantasy and say, we can be happy even if life is not perfect, then we open up our world to a wonderful, wide open threshold of blessings and joys that we can't even imagine. And that's actually the number one. So I'm going to give you some powerful thoughts here that can help you accept your life circumstances as they are and still be happy in them. Now, we're not saying today that you don't change the things you can. Always look at the situation and say, is this something I can change? And if it is, then do it. But many times you cannot change your situation. What do we do with that? So number one, powerful thought. Our challenges, our disappointments can lead to wonderful new possibilities we've never even imagined. And we're not going to immediately assume that this is going to be negative, even if that's our first thought. Remember, we're not in control of our first thoughts about things. Thoughts just plop in our heads and we have no control, but then we can decide what to do with that. So even if the first thought is a negative one, I can change that. And I can say, yeah, that thought came up, but what is a way to look at this positively? And one reason that it's good to not look at it negative is many times nothing has actually happened yet. We're just being negative about what's going to happen, and we're imagining, we're telling ourselves stories about what's going to happen when nothing has actually happened yet. So this one, I really love this one. No matter what happens in life, I can handle this. I am capable. I can find a solution. I can adjust, and everything will work out in the end. I love the statement that says, everything works out in the end. If it's not all worked out, then it's not the end. So whatever happens, even when we have hard things, even things that cause us pain and grief and anger, we are capable and we can find those things, find those strengths within us to handle those things. If you are having problems with that, if you feel weak, you don't feel strong, as a coach, that is one of the things that I love to do, is to talk with you and let you talk to me and help you rediscover the strengths and competencies that you have within you that has helped you get to this point in your life and help you make them more powerful to move on in your life in a more powerful way. As always, I would love to visit with you. If you think that you would like to talk with me one-on-one, there's a link in the show notes. You can use that to schedule a free coaching session. We can talk. You can see how powerful coaching is and whether you would be interested in us working together. That's always a possibility. Number 3, the situations that happen in our lives. Some of these things we have control over and we can change those. Some of these things, maybe more of those things, we have no control over. We can't do anything about it. But what we always have control over is our reaction to these situations and problems. So I can always decide, how am I going to react? Number 4, no need to worry about potential problems. Worry is about something that's going to happen. The vast majority of things we worry about never happen. Worrying does not help you have a favorable solution. It does not help anything. What it does is it takes away your enjoyment of today. It makes today worse. Doesn't make tomorrow better, it makes today worse. So as we're talking about not worrying, how do we not worry? Here's some more ideas. Focus on staying present in the moment. Because worrying is about the future. Worrying is what's going to happen. If you're focusing in today, you can't be worrying because you can't worry about something that's happening right now. So as you're fighting the worrying, bring your thoughts back to what's really happening right now. What's really happening? What is the truth? Not what you imagine, not a story you're telling yourself, not what you think, but what you really know. Not what you're worrying about. Okay? The worrying thing puts you in the little squirrel cage in your head. Think about what you actually know. When you are in the moment, that's a quick way to get a reality check. What is actually going on right now, this minute, and what do I have control over and what do I not have control over? Doing this, keeping yourself focused in the moment, can help lessen your anxious thoughts, and of course, that will help reduce your stress. As we're working on not worrying, look for the positive aspects of the situation. What are the gifts? A situation may seem all bad, but good things happen. I don't know about y'all, but even though COVID has had so many terrible things happen, there have been some good things. I ended up having some time to do extra study, and I got to learn more things about the stress and trauma, had more time to work on coaching. I met many new friends through technology all over the world. So even though it was a terrible thing, has been and still is in many ways, there are also gifts that I can think about those gifts, and I can derive joy from those instead of dwelling on the negative. As we do all this, as you focus your mind in on now and you're not out worrying out there, then you can actually seek and find some rational solutions to the problem. All right, number 5. No matter what is going on around me in the world, I always have a choice. Many times we don't think we do. We say, I have to do this, I have to do that. And that is not true. You have options. Now, you may not like the consequences of those different options, but you still have options. And so what you can always choose is what you're focusing on. You can always choose how you're judging things, and you can always choose how you react to the situation. And your reaction to the situation is going to be a greater determinant of whether you're stressed or whether you're calm, whether you're peaceful, joyful, angry, or worried. Number 6, oftentimes actually facing that challenge head on is the best method. Now, a lot of times we want to get in denial, we want to ignore it, ignore it, maybe it will go away, pretend it's not there. We talk about the elephant in the room that nobody wants to talk about. I don't know about you, but I don't like confrontation. So sometimes you might think, well, if I just let this go, maybe it'll just kind of slide away. There are some things that it is good to let go, but there are some times that just actually confronting that challenge head on will be a better way for you to find a solution and for you to actually feel better. All these things I've been telling you, if you'll notice these, if you have these thoughts, they make you feel powerful, they make you feel strong. And so many times I find that the things that, the feelings that make us feel bad are when we feel weak. I feel weak, I feel powerless, I have no control. And that's an awful way to feel. But even when life is hard, if we're feeling strong and powerful, then that can give us an inner joy and a peace to actually feel like we are happy, even if life isn't going exactly as we want it to go. So finally, as a summary, we can reframe our beliefs. Life does not have to be easy. It does not have to be comfortable, does not have to be convenient, and we do not have to have control of everything in our environment in order for us to live happy, joyful lives. So meanwhile, again, like I said, check the show notes, schedule a session with me if you're interested in something one-on-one. If you want to watch all my videos, remember that those are on my my website. And I hope you have a great week with very little stress and you're able to think positive, powerful thoughts.